Good morning, everyone. It's Matt from Worry Free Snowblowing, just here to do a quick demonstration on how to use the Intellisnow or WhiteNights application on the tablet. So today we'll just go through kind of the basics and what you would see as an operator while you're out there on the road. So first off, we have our tablet screen open. I am using an emulator, so your tablet won't look exactly like this, but it's close enough. So what you'll be seeing here, let me just close that, is you'll be looking for this app on your tablets. It's called WhiteNights. On your tablet, you will also have Google Maps to get you to your first address kind of thing, or if you need help getting around. Otherwise, click into WhiteNights. Typically, we will do this step for you already in the office. It will usually stay, but sometimes the app goes down. Sometimes you have to reset your tablet completely. So I think it's important that everybody knows how to get back to your route properly. So you're going to click login via URL, and you're simply just going to tap in here on your tablet. That'll come up as a little keyboard, and you just put WF, and then hit click and continue. Now the 4-digit PIN is the last 4 digits typically of your phone number. We'll let you know what that is as you come in. And again, just go ahead and put your numbers in, and that'll bring you into the route screen. So while we're starting our snow shift, you can imagine there's a lot of guys logging in. There's a lot of data. Usually this first load up is quite slow. Of course, right now there's no snow and I'm just doing it on a computer. But you'll be a little bit slower on the tablet to get this open on the first time, especially if you have all the routes, like some of our zone supervisors. If you're a standard operator, you'll only see your zone. So if you're in zone A, if you're, say, you're route A3, you'll only see zone A. With that being said, on this screen, you'll see throughout the storm, there's going to be guys that are complete. It'll show if we're on pass 1, pass 2, if you're paused, so on and so forth, and routes that have not been started will be gray. That being said, you can also jump into the stats page over here, and again, see any routes that are in your zone on their progress, where they're at, if they're on pass 1, pass 2, and pass 3 accordingly. Of course, just click back. So now from the top of the screen, sometimes your main bread and butter is going to be right here, working on the driveway screen. However, some of you will ask you to go do a premium route. Now, premiums are typically all main streets, so those are streets that have sidewalks, which will get the sidewalk plow and the city plow going by more often. So usually once we're done a pass, we might dispatch you to do a premium route. If that was the case, you would just click premium, click into the appropriate route, and get started. Same thing goes for Ultra. That's our 2.5 centimeter service. Not all of you will be doing this. However, same idea applies. If you're part of the Ultra service team, you will just click into the appropriate Ultra route and get going from there. Once we're all done, our first pass, second pass, we're often chasing graders. So at that point, we will let you know which grader beat you're a part of. But you'd be able to find your grader beat, and depending on if you're the first half or the second half from the grader, you could actually follow all of the grader beat. Now, this may sometimes go outside of your assigned route, but it's where the grader is going to go. So sometimes in that case, we will have sent, most of our routes, there's about 2 tractors to every city grader, sometimes 3. So if that's the case, we might send one of those guys home because there's no point in just sitting around or waiting for 12 hours for these guys to finish up. And so in that case, you'd be assigned a grader route to complete the whole thing. All right, so getting back to it, we will talk a little bit about the actual driver screen. What we're doing this year, and we've kind of tested it in the past a few times, but at this point we really need to make it work, is text notifications to our clients. So how this works is the client has essentially chosen a way of how they want to be notified. So it's going to be ever more important this year than ever to actually make sure that you're not starting a route on the tablet until you're ready to start your route. Because the moment you click in, it will send a text message to the first 5 of your clients. That message will say an operator is coming to you. They should be there within the next 15 to 30 minutes kind of thing. So, and then after that, as you hit client number 1, it will take a text message to client number 6 saying the same thing, and client number 2, client number 7. So it'll always stay 5 ahead of you. The idea is we're giving the clients the opportunity to move their cars, which makes your life easier. You don't have to sit there, honk the horn at the door, or anything like that. Hopefully the clients will take action. Now that text message service will only be on from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m. We cannot text outside those hours, so it will not be effective. And we'll let you know each storm whether or not it's on, or if it's on the first pass or second pass, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, let's get right into our first route. So we're going to go into C6. That'll be the route we're going to do today. So when you click into it, it'll always ask you, do you want to begin route? Or if you were paused, it'll say on pause route and continue. Or if you were complete, it'll ask you to begin route again, but now it'll click it onto the second pass or third pass accordingly. So let's start with C6. We'll jump on in here. And so from inside this screen, this kind of gives you most of the details that you'll need to know. You have your whole list of addresses right here that you can see. If there's any notes, such as this one right here, 1784 Windflower, clear flush to the lamppost. I guess it should be obvious. We're probably not able to put a marker there. If you have fire hydrants, they'll generally be in the notes for you. So obviously do not blow snow on a fire hydrant. We get in trouble for that typically. So yeah, let's go ahead and do, so I'm using, obviously I'm not driving down the street while doing this. I'm using the computer to simulate where I am. So right now, let's say we're on the corner. We're going to go jump into our first driveway, or right on top of their house perhaps. There we go. So what will happen is typically all of our properties are geofenced. Now that's coordinates that we set up in advance to kind of map their property. It works well in most areas. Some areas like new builds, it's not necessarily the most effective, so it won't automatically trigger a successful driveway that's completed. But usually, as long as you're in that driveway for more than 5 seconds, it will trigger green. If we were to skip this driveway, the next one, sorry, number 2, and go straight to number 3. You're going to see that it'll tell us automatically on the tablet that we missed 213. Sometimes that's just an operator preference. I mean, obviously don't miss them, but it may make more sense when you're live on the street to do, one driveway, skip one because the client's pulling out perhaps, or perhaps we just didn't have it in the right order because sometimes they're more dense than this. So if that's the case, just make sure that you actually go back to do that address. That's just 213. Let's try and do that. There we go. So as you drive along, there's a line between all of your houses, and you can zoom in and zoom out as much as you prefer. If you're moving your map and you happen to get lost, just hit the little target icon here. It'll center your tractor just like Google Maps kind of does. So same idea there. And from there, zoom in, keep on going around. Let's just move our tractor here. 1 second, guys. So sometimes also when you have townhomes, it may trigger one, not the other, and vice versa, or maybe it'll just not trigger any of them. Unfortunately, that's kind of just the way the system is. There's only so many limitations we can get to technology. If that was the case, you can always mark it completed yourself. So you can hit mark address as completed. The huge benefit to this, as you're marking it, we get to see that in the office. So as you can imagine, we have a call center filled with, usually 4 or 5 people, and they're answering calls from clients. Um, but they're obviously not on the road. They can't see what's going on. This is what gives them that information. What it'll do is each time you log an address like this and it goes green, mark as completed, it will post a visit over here on the client screen. Actually, you can see the one we just did right now, and telling them what time it was done, which driver did it, and that it was completed, or that it was obstructed. So we'll go through that right now. So let's say we're going into driveway number 6, and for example, you have a parked car, you can't get into it, you can't clear it. What you can do is just click the little car icon. It'll flag it as yellow for you. What you can do after you're done your route is just simply come back around. You're going to look for any moved cars, and by flagging them yellow, it should help, catch your attention as you do that. Let's go ahead and do the next one. There we go. Now let's say we're moving on over to Crevier. Just put us anywhere. There we go. So here we are now going to have different obstructions. It's not just a car, or maybe the first one is a car, but the second one, something else is going on. So let's look at what we have. You can also do the car parked in driveway from back here. Um, Maybe there's garbage in your way and you're not able to clear their driveway. It's not our job to get out and move the client's garbage bins. Of course, we have to work during garbage days, so you will encounter that. Perhaps there's a tree branch that's too low hanging and you can only clear a part of the driveway, maybe the first 10 feet or something like that. So that's where you would, mark that and go report. It will flag it in our back end, and after each storm, we will have all of this information. But if that customer happens to call in, like, oh, they only did, 5, 6 feet of my driveway, well, at least we have the information to be like, well, yeah, your garbage was in the way, and we couldn't possibly do it. Other scenarios, of course, a vehicle blocking the street. That does happen a lot in the wintertime. People are parked all over the place. Perhaps you just simply cannot get to their driveway. So we'll go report on that. And again, that will go yellow. So maybe if that was garbage, as you come back around for checking for your moved cars, you'll see that they came out and grabbed their garbage bins. So do your best to give it a nice clean at that point. That's pretty much it for what you're going to find here. Um, Now, if, for example, obviously we always encourage that you actually complete your route before taking a break. That has to be our main priority. However, if you have to go to the bathroom or something like that, or we have a breakdown, please make sure to pause your route because it will continue to send notifications to your clients. So you're going to want to hit pause. And then if it'll show on here that it's paused, then of course you can go back in, unpause it, continue your route as per normal. When you're all done, you can hit end pass, and it will automatically tell you your route is not complete. I've only done 11%. I'm not doing a very good job, I guess. But it says you cannot complete your route at 100%. If you've completed everything, please contact management for an override. And it'll show you all the addresses that are incomplete here. You typically will not have this button. This is because it's me and I have an override, but supervisors and zone leaders would have the ability to do that. Otherwise, go back, go do it. The other way to complete it, like if you're 100% sure it's completing and it's just not geofencing appropriately, you can go mark as completed. But please make sure when you're doing that it is actually done, because we're going to be telling this customer when they call that no, Bob did this at this time. They're like, well, no, I have cameras and no one ever came. So you can imagine a lot of Orleans is under video surveillance. That's just standard these days around everywhere. So please don't make us look like liars. If it's done and the market is done, if there's an actual issue, flag it and let us know. We can always contact the customer on your behalf to let them know what's going on and why you couldn't do it, perhaps. Other than that, let's see. So let's say we end our pass. I'm going to go ahead and end it and say it's complete. From this point, we could now go back in and start a second pass on this route. Everything clears, all of the data you had from before is cleared, and you start over. We can also reverse this route. So if you've been asked to go help somebody else, you may have an operator running forwards, 1 through 80 on this route, or you can hit reverse and it'll flip it around. So then you're going to start at number 81 and work your way towards until you meet him in the middle. And I think that's pretty much it, what you're going to see on the regular use of our tablets here. Thank you guys, and hope this is clear enough.